Hey there, Guardians. Gary Larson here with the Guardian Long Range Competition. Wanted to provide you an update with an important announcement and some exciting things happening with the Guardian. So what we're going to talk about today in this communication is just giving you an overview of what the Guardian is, if you're new to it, what's happening, why it's happening. We're going to be doing the same mission, same goals, even more flexibility with some of these changes. What these changes mean for 2019. We're going to talk about some of the remaining registrations and some next steps and some upcoming activities we're going to be doing. And then we're going to talk about where you can help, where we need your help before we wrap up. So let's go ahead and get started. So for you that may not know, the Guardian is a full day, actually a full weekend in some cases, long-range competition. These long-range shooting events started over 5 years ago. And all of the funds raised were used to help foster kids and orphans find forever families. Since 2014, we've raised over $750,000 towards that cause. And we featured over 1,300 unique shooters from 23 different states. Actually, even a few countries we've had some shooters come in for. And we've raffled off over $450,000 in products and services thanks to our amazing sponsors. So what's actually happening? Well, effective immediately, Bethany Christian Services will no longer be affiliated with the Guardian. The remaining 2019 matches, those donations, raffle prizes, will all be refunded by Bethany starting in 2 weeks. So what that means is if you're scheduled to attend one of these matches in the remaining months, you should be getting a check from Bethany in the coming weeks. We've requested that Bethany refund all of the 2019 donations. That means the April match in North Carolina, the May match in Georgia, and the most recent one in South Dakota, since these are all part of the same calendar year. The Guardian leadership team is currently finishing our paperwork to become its own nonprofit entity. We're very excited about this, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a second. And then also as one of the changes is that Tim Nolan, a Bethany employee who's been a huge supporter of the Guardian, will no longer be able to be involved in the Guardian in an official capacity. So, why are these changes happening? Well, Bethany leaders have said that the Guardian does not fit the image that Bethany wants to portray. We've tried to get more details on the rationale behind this. To date, we haven't been able to get any more understanding on that. In the past, we have heard that Bethany had concerns over our raffles and some of our sponsors. We've also been reprimanded in the past by Bethany over our prairie dog shoot and actually shooting IPSC targets. And we've also been told to avoid using assault rifles in matches. Our leadership team believes their decision not to be affiliated with the Guardian is directly related to our support of the Second Amendment and our involvement in firearms. As a result, the Guardian will become its own nonprofit entity where the direction of our matches, fundraising, and efforts will be solely owned by the Guardian and its board of directors. So, we'll have the same mission, same goals, and even more flexibility. So, the Guardian will continue with our mission of helping kids and families through a creative ministry. Our goal has not and will not change. Only the trusted benefactor is going to change. Being your own 501c3 allows us for flexibility in determining where our donations are going to be directed. We can host matches in areas and states outside of where previous Bethany was licensed and had support. And we're going to be able to create matches and events that were previously considered unappealing. So what does this mean for 2019? Well, No changes to the remaining matches. Their format, design, schedule, everything will remain the exact same. Beginning in mid-July, Bethany will begin refunding all of the registrants and our sponsors for the matches, for the remaining matches. Upcoming match donations will be refunded to you via check. And the Michigan donors, which that event is coming up pretty soon, will be prioritized to make sure they're taken care of first. Sponsors who have donated financially will also get a full refund. If you have issues with the transfer, questions, or need to talk to somebody about this process, here's some contact information below. We've updated our email address so you can reach out to us with any questions. We also have a contact at Bethany for upcoming match refunds and any other additional questions or refunds that deal with financial matters. And then finally, questions directed specifically to Bethany. This presentation will be made available, and we'll also provide a PDF version for you to be able to download that will be available on our website and our social media tools. So, 2019 registrations. So, shooters, you'll just need to register through Eventbrite. So, when you get your refund, what you'll need to do is first register through Eventbrite. The registration price has been reduced from $250 down to $200. Part of the reason why we did that is we knew this change was coming, and it's going to be an inconvenience to you to have to re-register for an event. That's part of the reason why we did that. The other reason why is that because we're not a 501c3 yet, we're not going to be able to offer you a tax donation. So we apologize for that during this transition, but we wanted to make sure we took care of you by taking $50 off of your registration cost. If you're a new shooter, you'll just need to complete the full registration form. We've already had several people go through Eventbrite. It's been really easy and pretty seamless for all of the new shooters. If you're a transferring shooter, one that's existing in an existing match, we have an abbreviated form that you just need to fill out. We've already collected all of your information on your rifle, your experience, military, law enforcement, all of that stuff. We've collected that already. We don't need you to go through that again. So we just need you to go ahead and simply register through that abbreviated form, and you'll be all set to go. As I mentioned before, registrations will not be tax deductible until we get our nonprofit status. We're hoping that will be done by the end of this year. So fingers crossed. A portion of these proceeds will go into the Guardian business account to help us set up an operating budget. This will help cover all expenses and honor our commitments we've made to match hosts and to shooters for the remainder of the year. And one last note on here is that all prizes donated for raffle, which is about $40,000 in prizes that our sponsors have provided, all of those will be distributed in a normal fashion, either by a random name drawing or a $5 raffle if we're able to do that as well. So let's look at the next steps in the timeline of events. First, we're doing this recorded message, and we're going to send it out to our social media networks, and you'll also get notification via email and newsletter. A few weeks from now, we're going to have our match in Lake City. We're doing everything we can to make sure that this is a seamless experience for all of the transferring shooters. That means pushing forward to make sure that their reimbursement is taken care of, or at worst, we're going to go ahead and honor their initial registrations, and we can square up with them after the match. We want to make sure that they truly have a great Guardian experience. For the rest of 2019, matches will function as is. There won't be any changes to the format, scheduling, or anything. We're excited to be able to host the rest of these matches, and hopefully by the time those matches occur, all of these things will be in the past. The Guardian Board of Directors is being set up and establishing operating routines, a match schedule, and a donation strategy. All of these things will become a part of our normal operating rhythm. So for the 2020 season, we expect to have a fully approved nonprofit entity and have a fully functioning board of directors to help direct the Guardian leadership team. So where do we need your help? Well, first, we need you to be patient. We're going to be moving quickly to make sure we minimize the impact this transition has on your experience as our guardians. Next, we want you to be involved. If you have an opportunity to volunteer, we'd love to have you. There's going to be an opportunity now more than ever for you to be able to help maintain the Guardian's awesome reputation. And finally, we want you to be heard. With any donation you give to any organization, it's yours. And you have the right to request how that money is going to be used, or even ask for it to be returned back to you. You also have the right to speak to those in charge to receive communication on what's going on with your donation, or what is some of the strategy that these organizations are doing to make sure your donations are being used appropriately. That goes for the Guardian and how we'll be using your donations, as well as any other organization. So we welcome the questions, and we really want to provide transparency in how we all work together. So all along this whole process, we do believe that God is in control of the Guardian. It's been a blessing to be able to serve and glorify Him in this creative ministry, and I'm excited to see where He takes us next. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you to Tim Nolan for being a great supporter and a brother in Christ. We want to thank the amazing Guardian community. We got involved in the Guardian because we wanted to serve people like you, and I can't thank you enough for all that the community has done. Brittany McMillan and McMillan Fiberglass Stocks, they've been amazing in helping us not only through this process, but over the last year, they've been much more than a title sponsor. Prime Ammunition, they've helped obtain some legal counsel for the Guardian in the process of us getting our nonprofit status. Thank you so much to that team there. And finally, we have the best sponsors in the world. We have so many awesome companies that have stood by the Guardian and support us because they know this is making an impact much beyond the legacy of any of our wildest dreams. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this, and stay tuned. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Brittany, and we'll make ourselves available. We'll talk to you guys soon.